Hey everybody, Arturo Johnson here, and welcome to another YouTube video. So if you aren't familiar with my channel, we help entrepreneurs who specialize in life insurance to generate and have clients chasing them instead of the other way around, and help agents to get to 100K per month, like my client Kevin Alexander, who does 100K every single month. And so in today's video, I'm going to talk through the top 5 lessons on how to make 30K online, whether you're in life insurance, sales, or if you are an entrepreneur trying to go from that 10 to 30K a year, and you have this glass ceiling and you just can't seem to get to that next level. This video is for you. First thing you need to do is you need to focus on your mindset. And this is important because I can remember when I was still waiting tables, I just had this nagging, burning desire that I wanted something better. And I can ultimately remember just being frustrated. I was annoyed. I was upset. I was really, really frustrated, just in a bad mood all the time. And it was just because I wasn't happy. And I knew that there was something more in store for me. And I made a good living waiting tables, right? So nothing against it, but it was just time for me to make a shift. In the restaurant business, on and off in life insurance business for the last 12 years. And I wanted to find something that I was passionate about, that I could make a living, I could help a lot of people, and I could just have a more impact. I had to change my self-image. So what happened is I started to just focus on personal development, and I came across Jim Rohn. And the funny thing is, sometimes in life, things that you need are already there, the tools that you need, and they're just waiting for you to notice them and pick them up. I listened to this one presentation from Jim Rohn, and for some reason, I just kept thinking, man, I've heard this somewhere before. And it took me probably like 90 days, and then it hit me. Back in 2005, when I first started selling life insurance and supplemental with Aflac, I had a district sales coordinator named Wes Hudnall from Arkansas. And he gave me this DVD, this CD to listen in my car back in 2005. And I think I listened to just that one, and it had like 12 hours on it, and I never listened to it again. And he gave it to me for motivation. That struck me. What I noticed from the self-image and the personal development was I changed my self-image. I changed my standards. I raised my standards. I changed how I saw myself. I changed how I dressed, how I walked, how I carried myself. And that was the first thing that I needed to change, was that internal image of myself. What happened from there is it gave me some perception, right? It changed my perception of the future. It made me excited to get up every single day. I no longer went to bed after midnight tired. I quit drinking, started working out, started eating healthy. I got excited about the future. And it was because I changed my self-image that now I was excited about an opportunity, and I just needed to be ready. So when that opportunity presented itself, that I wouldn't let it pass me by. And my perception of the future changed. And so with this mindset thing, right, these are the kind of the 3 things that you need to make a shift in. And inside this personal development, what I started to notice is I started to recognize opportunities, right? I was no longer looking down at the ground. I started to walk with my head held high. I started to believe in my ability to figure it out, just waiting on opportunities. I started to study, I started to learn, and that's when everything changed. And I realized over this time that it was just my identity of myself was changing, right? I think it was 34 when I decided I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and my mindset changed, right? My self-image of myself, my perception and my personal development, my disciplines, they changed. And I could have done this a long time ago, right? But I finally decided and made up my mind. I changed my mindset, and that's when that shift happened at the age of 34, and it's been amazing. The next thing is I had to master the emotions. What I found is that when I quit drinking, this is when my drive increased. So it's kind of like you have this fire, but all the smoke is kind of just insulated if you think about like a barbecue grill. My habits of drinking and eating bad foods and sleeping late, going to bed after 2 p.m., 3 p.m., I realized that my flame was being smothered by all of this smoke, by all of this negative things that I was doing to myself. And the moment that I took the top off, right, this cloud was able to be lifted, and some oxygen started to hit these coals, right? I started living on fire. And from there, it started to increase my drive. I was excited about things. I was curious about learning. It gave me some drive. And then the next step was I had to figure out my why. What was it that I wanted to do? What was my purpose? I know a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to figure this out. Some people, unfortunately, go through their whole life and they never figure out their why. This was a very vulnerable thing, and sometimes you just got to sit with this. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It's not going to come from a course or a textbook. Sometimes you just got to sit and try to figure out what it is that you want. For example, I wanted to be happy, right? Like a lot of people. I've said this before, but most people have the wrong goal. The goal that most people have that's wrong is that they choose the goal to be happy. But more importantly, they need to sit down and think, what are the things that make me happy? right? Working from home, being around my family, being able to go anywhere I want with a cell phone, a laptop, and do business, being able to help a bunch of people make a good living doing it. Those are the things that made me happy. Being my own boss, being able to come and go as I please and build a team and just help a lot of people. And so once I figured those things out, that was the thing that made me happy. Then I figured out, okay, how do I learn how to do this? And so most people have the wrong goal in just trying to be happy. So they wake up every day wondering, man, I'm not happy. But instead, you need to figure out what it is that makes you happy. And then you need to do those things. And as a byproduct of doing those things, that's how you become happy. The third thing is sacrifices. Now, this one is huge, right? I talk about this a lot. There's a lot of things that you got to sacrifice. So for me, in my personal life, I had to sacrifice a lot of things. I needed to stop wasting time. The first thing I had to do was I had to start going to bed before 12 a.m. That was the first thing. And this was really, really difficult because in the service industry, when I was working the second shift, I had to be at work at 4, drinking a coffee or Red Bull at 5, get off at 11, go across the street, get something to eat, have a couple drinks. It's 2 o'clock, and then do that thing over and over and over. So what I had to do was I had to shortcut that. As soon as I got off work at 11, I was at home trying to unwind and trying to get in bed before midnight. Once my business took off, I made sure I was in bed by 10. And this is really important because most people want to do these amazing things, but they don't have the personal discipline to go to bed at a certain time, right? To get up at a certain time. And these are basic, very simple things. And so if you can't have a routine of when you go to bed and when you wake up, how are you going to run Fortune 500 company, right? The simple disciplines, right? Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And so I had to make some sacrifices. I had to sacrifice hanging out with friends on the weekends. I had to sacrifice watching TV. I no longer listen to music in my car. I turned my car into automobile university. So the only thing that played in my car for 6 months to a year was audiobooks and YouTube videos on how to learn a new skill. I did not watch a complete sporting event for 12 months. I caught the highlights if I needed to on YouTube, but I was always learning things. I sacrificed that time to grow. And then I exercised. I committed to a healthy lifestyle. So I made sure I had a juice. I intermittent fasted. I got a fasted workout in every single day. I made sure I walked, and I got a standing desk. So I no longer sat. There's a saying that now that we're online, sitting at a desk is the new smoking. So I got a desk, and then to take it to the next level, I got a treadmill here. So you can probably hear that beep, but now I have this cool standing desk treadmill. So even when I'm standing here, I have committed to being healthy, to getting my steps in, and make sure I get 20,000 steps in. And so when you sacrifice in your personal life and that fire is burning, well, now you have all these things to pour over into your business, right? And so the bad habits and the addictions or vices and things that are taking time away, smoking cigarettes, right? I did that too. Imagine how many 5-10 minute smoke breaks that you've taken, how many hours that you've wasted on top of taking years off of your life, right? And being tired and can't breathe and bad habits and how much money you spending. Now I had all of that time, that energy, right? All of those resources to focus, and this is a sacrifice. Because see, here's something that most people won't tell you. The only reason why you will fail in business is because you aren't willing to sacrifice it all. Because in business, there is an exchange. And you've got to be willing to give up something in order to have success. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods, Mike Tyson, like all the greats, they had to sacrifice something in order to be great. And so if you want to be great, you're going to have to sacrifice. And I just think of it as laws, right? The hanging out, the bad eating, the smoking, the drinking, all of those are law. And you got this fire over here. And all you're doing is taking all of those logs and putting it on this fire. And that fire is energy to put into your business so that you can ensure that you have success. The fourth thing is simplicity. And this is one of my favorites because I love saying no. Most entrepreneurs, they're trying to do multiple things. And they're trying to do multiple things often. They're always changing. You ever see somebody's profile on social media, right? 1 month they're doing real estate, 1 month they're doing Bundavita or some MLM, 1 month they're promoting some new skincare product, a waist trainer. They're always doing something. And that's mixed messaging in the marketplace. And so what you want to do is you want to have one goal and you want to stick to that for 2 things. One, for at least a year or until you make $1 million. And once you do that, then this is definitely going to ensure that you have success, because the marketplace is going to get familiar with you, and familiarity breeds trust. And when you become synonymous with the solution to the problem that you're going to be solving in the marketplace, this is where you're going to have a ton of success. And also what this does is this creates simplicity, because it's less variables, right? And less variables equals consistency. So if you wake up every single day and have a routine, just like everybody has one, they wake up, get some water, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, and then get dressed. And this is a product of if you have to go to work or go upstairs to the office, right? So this is a process. You can make it to do that on time, right? And some people don't. And it's because they get distracted. They got to go take out the trash. They start text messaging. They get on social media. They take a phone call that they shouldn't at the time when they need to be focused, right? And so what we want to do is we want to make things very simple. And so in business, you want to remove as many variables as possible, right? And if you have one goal that you focus on and you remove the variables, and you just wake up every single day and chop wood with having consistency, this is how you're going to ensure that you have success. And the reason why this is important is because you want to preserve your energy. Now, there's two types of energy though, right? There's the physical energy and there's mental energy. For this example, I want to just talk about the mental energy because I don't think that this is spoken about enough. So when you have a lot of variables, you have multiple goals and all of these things, this is how you burn out. And this is basically that you have too many decisions to make, and we only have a certain amount of willpower every single day, and you're going to have decision fatigue. So then what happens when you have decision fatigue? You find other things to do that aren't getting you closer to your goal, and you find yourself doing those things. Ultimately, you self-sabotage. So you want to preserve your mental energy in that aspect of simplification, right? And then your physical energy, right? You want to make sure that you're in a peak state. So if you do everything that I'm trying to teach you in this video, right? You get your identity together, you get your physiology together, you get discipline, you sacrifice some things and cut out the things that are distracting you, keeping your mind from being free, and that you're feeling good with your energy is up high. And now you have the ability and confidence to take massive action to really change the world. And so you want to make sure that you're preserving your physical and your mental energy. And so lastly is goals. And I think most people don't spend a lot of time on this one, so I'm going to really hammer this one home. A lot of times people don't have their Polaris star. They don't have that northern star to take them in that direction. So they're just doing a bunch of random things all day long without a clear-cut destination. For example, if I wanted to go from Nashville to Colorado, I wouldn't just hop in my car and just hop on the interstate and start driving with my family, and people say, well, where are you going? I'm going to Colorado. Well, how are we going to get there? How are you going to know where to turn next? It's like, oh, I just figured out along the way. So what I want to do is I want to do research. I want to search out what is an ideal destination. Then I want to get that location, and I want to see how long it's going to take me to get there. I want to plan it out, put some stops in between there along the road for this road trip, and then I want to put that into Waze or Google Maps, and I want to get the exact time of arrival. And so now I have a clear course of action, and if I follow the direction, take the steps, do the driving, take some breaks in between over a certain amount of time, I'll end up in Colorado. This takes me to the first point, which is practice versus theory. The best way to have success in business is by practice. A lot of academic thinking, like, going to get an MBA and business school and all of these things, which there's nothing wrong with that. The challenge is that most of those people haven't run successful businesses. And the only way to have a successful business is to fail your way to success. It's to learn by doing. This is the entrepreneurial way. As a byproduct of taking daily action every single day, obsessing over the customer, having a clear goal, and a relentless pursuit to believe in yourself, to figure it out, this is how you have success, right? There is no magic solution. It is just trying hard every single day until you come up with a solution that's repeatable and scalable, that you can produce with a minimal amount of service delivery. And so practice is definitely going to trump theory, right? Because let's be honest, you can watch as many videos as you want on Steph Curry on how to shoot threes, but unless you go and shoot basketball, you go and practice, you're never gonna hit a shot. This is very important, that you always want to be a doer and not just a thinker, because thinking alone, information alone, isn't going to get you success. It's going to take massive action with the clear cut instructions. And then the next thing is expectations over intent. And a lot of people in business in general, they have the wrong expectations, right? They want to make $100,000, right? They don't want to do the work. What you want to do is you want to have the intent to be hardworking. You want to have the intent to help a bunch of people, and then you want to let nothing get in your way. Because what happens is that expectations of getting to 100, you get there, and sometimes it may not happen as soon as you think it. It may take 6 months. It may take 12 months. I know some people that didn't make $100,000 in 12 months. I did it in less than 6 months and 29 days. But some people, it takes them 9 months to do that. It takes them, over a year. And so you want to have the right expectations, because a lot of things happen with expectations once you hit that goal, right? So if you get to 100K and you don't have the right expectations for yourself, now you think you made it, right? You start to slack off, you don't do all these things. And so if you don't have that intent to just help people, to be hardworking, you just in it for the wrong reasons. Intent is the sole purpose for doing anything. You want to be intentional about what you do in the mornings. You want to be intentional about what you put in your brain, right? What you listen to, who you surround yourself with, what food you put in your body, right? You want to stand guard at the door of your mind, in the words of Jim Rohn. And so every single day, you want to be working with purpose and intentionality. And then the last one is you just want to raise your standards. And the easiest way to do this is to change your environment, change the people that you hang around, change the things that you listen to, just up level. This can be difficult sometimes, right? Because in the beginning, you aren't these things, right? And so you may come up against a little bit of imposter syndrome, but that's okay, because that's just fear trying to hold you back, complacency to try to trick you into staying inside your comfort zone. But all growth happens outside your comfort zone. So you want to raise your standards. And if you get around people that they're routinely getting uncomfortable, that will become the norm for them. They'll talk about it all the time, and that'll become your norm, right? We are the sum of our environment, which is really, really difficult to overcome. So you want to put yourself in a winning environment, a high achieving environment, a top performing environment. Again, just wanted to hop on, talk through the 5 lessons that I've learned and how you can use these 5 things to make 30K per month online. So I hope this video was valuable. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like button as well as subscribe. We try to do 3 high quality videos like this every single week. And I'm doing something special inside of this video. So one lucky person who comments on what they enjoyed about this video, I'm going to give them a copy of my book. So go ahead and leave a comment below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.